Ooh, hello everyone. Mondays, as I've said earlier, intend to be for motivational content. But with the kind of things I saw in the name of Grammy submissions on Friday, maybe this will be our motivational message for the day. When you get the chance to submit your work for something like the Grammys, make sure you do things well, alright? Wow, before I continue, welcome to the SOB 3D channel. Our focus on this channel is primarily 3D related content. Think tutorials, gameplays, short animations, and the time-lapse video you're watching. However, of late, I've been pairing commentary on actual real-world and pop culture subjects with the time-lapse videos. So, two things are achieved at once effectively. And currently, there is a posting schedule to have at least one video every week, with Tuesdays being the only day dedicated to 3D tutorials. So if that sounds like your vibe, be sure to subscribe. And now let's continue this reaction. I am still in shock over some of these submissions. I can't even show you clips from my original recording because it's just me screaming and laughing throughout. So I'll go over the highlights. And then on Friday, hopefully, I'll be sharing with you a hypothetical ballot of the songs and albums that I'd pick if I were a voter. So let's look at who I'll admit I was the most curious about. Tyla. I don't know if it's the label or the artists themselves that do the submissions, but whoever did has nailed it for the most part. As we suggested in the previous video, she put Push to Start in music video, record, song, and African music performance. Sadly, the only other submission was Is It in pop solo performance. Now, I get that we were stretching things by suggesting Bliss in R&B and Mr. Media in global, but then again, Kehlani's After Hours got an R&B nomination, and Tyla's Jump was also submitted to global music performance last year. By the way, it still messes with my head thinking about how Tyla's debut had 0 Grammy nominations. If Push to Start is snubbed, then it's a clear case of a needless vendetta against her. It's for this reason that I sort of hate the fact that the Grammys are a US-based accolade, with a clear majority of its voters, even in the global field, apparently being either from the US or being US-based to some extent. But let's hope that enough people are willing to check in the global field for her, because as a Grammy voter, you can vote in any 3 fields you want for first and second round voting. Please, Grammy enthusiasts, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. As for record and song of the year, realistically for Push to Start, I don't see it happening. It's an amazing record and one of the best this season, but in an 8-track lineup in those categories, I doubt it's happening. I'm not even sure that I'd vote for it, considering that I tend to like more niche sounds, but also, as I've said, there are typically only 8 slots, but for African music performance, it definitely get my vote. Now let's quickly talk about Ayra Starr. Sorry, but when did the eligibility period for this season end exactly? Unless I missed something, the Hot Body video was released after August 30th. Somehow it got submitted, unless the spreadsheet I got the submissions from listed it incorrectly. But yeah, Hot Body predictably was put in the African music performance category instead of R&B. It's not the worst offender of genre fraud out there. Definitely not the worst we'll talk about today. If anyone seems to be giving Push to Start a steep race, it's going to be this. In fact, given how much love the track has received from US-based celebrities and artists, Ayra Starr might be leaving the ceremony with her first Grammy. Here's a possible congratulations to her in advance. Then let's have a quick look at Rema, who also predictably went with African music performance instead of melodic rap. Again, not a grave offender of genre fraud, and the nomination also seems to be locked for him, given that this track equally received a great amount of love in the US. He and Ayra have submissions for record and song of the year as well. And while I don't see that happening in a US-based 8-track lineup for either of them, I wish them both good luck. Sabrina Carpenter was one of the first people I was shocked to see fumble the bag, as they say. She managed to squeeze out a whopping 9 submissions for her Man's Best Friend album. And nope, Best Album Cover wasn't one of them, which is kind of sad, seeing that it might just have won the category. I think I saw a comment somewhere that read, for the craft category, submissions aren't ever confirmed as they are reviewed by the Grammys technical committee, or at least something to that effect. I didn't know a committee was needed to review 4 letters over a neon green background, but I digress. She went with Man-Child in Best Music Video over Tears, which is still valid, as I happen to like the Man-Child video a bit. I still haven't seen the Tears video actually. And it's puzzling how a collaboration with a country music superstar like Dolly Parton lands her a submission in pop instead of country. I mean, if the submission wasn't confident, she could have thrown it into country just for fun. I imagine maybe it was moved by the review committee or something. Then there's also that special she did during the holiday season last year, being submitted to Best Music Film. For Sabrina, without a doubt, she's getting at least 6 of these nominations. Not only has Man-Child been a big hit in the US, but it's also one of the more sonically interesting records in the pop mainstream. The quirky chords, the tongue-in-cheek writing, Sabrina's performance, and the seamless blending in of country elements. I think I'd have a track like this on my ballot for record, song, and pop solo performance, but I'll have to look at the list extensively to draw a conclusion. But I really like the Man-Child track. As for the album, as I stated in the previous Grammy-related video, I did give it a non-attentive listen. I am yet to give it another dedicated listen, so I can't say whether or not Man's Best Friend would be on my album of the year and best pop vocal album ballots. I'm happy to see that Lady Gaga submitted Abracadabra for record and song of the year. Then of course it's also in dance pop. She has a few other submissions. Interestingly, she has a song submitted for 2 categories in the rock field. I like to see pop artists dabbling in multiple off-brand genres, though rock is very much on brand for Lady Gaga. With quick tangents, Lady Gaga and Beyonce, I think, are 2 people who've had success in dominating multiple genres. There's much talk going around now that Beyonce's closing act in the trilogy of albums is going to be a rock album, so I'm eager to hear what that one would sound like, especially considering how incredible Cowboy Carter has sounded. Back to Gaga. Interestingly, she submitted the Harlequin album to jazz vocal instead of traditional pop vocal. Honestly, I think at some point they're going to be tempted to merge them. There is a clear difference between the 2 categories though, if you know what to look out for. Now let's talk about Kendrick Lamar and SZA. Sadly, Luther went to melodic rap. No songwriting category. So there's no chance of him tying or even besting his record of track with the most Grammys. TV Off was his submission to both rap performance and rap song, which is valid. But for the first time in a while, I doubt Kendrick Lamar would be winning either of those categories. Interestingly, he did have a pop field submission, but it wasn't Squabble Up. It was for 30 for 30, which I would certainly vote for. It's easily one of the hottest tracks in the category from what I can see. But yeah, I'm just a bit sad Luther wasn't able to go to R&B. Kendrick Lamar really slowed it down with his performance on that one. Even during his Super Bowl performance, you could tell he was trying to push the more sensual vibe with the song. And I even suspect he put it in R&B, but these biased reviewers must have been the ones to have moved it elsewhere. Because how does it make sense that there isn't a songwriting submission for it? Oh well, written for GNX, Luther, and 30 for 30 in everything they get nominated in. Speaking of sensual music, Drake somehow didn't submit Nokia anywhere. I'll admit that I didn't listen to the album when it dropped, but I assumed that Nokia was the big hit from the album. Maybe it's because Nokia is credited to only Drake and they wanted something with both of them credited. Good luck to them. Last set of people who sort of fumbled the bag that I'll be speaking of in this recording are Addison Rae and Sombr. For Addison, how is it that she missed getting something in dance pop recording? Or was Aquamarine ineligible? Fame is a Gun being her record and Song of the Year submission scares me a bit because I was convinced Headphones On stood a better shot. Then she managed to get High Fashion in Best Music Video, and sadly, there aren't any collaborations for her to piggyback off for extra nominations. Realistically, considering that she's still a bit of a polarizing figure in the US music market, I do not see any of these submissions materializing into nominations. Of course, I would vote for Addison in Best Pop Vocal Album and Album of the Year because to me it's simply that good, but I have my doubts that the bulk of these US-based voters would see it that way. I still see annoying comments disregarding her talents as Nepo baby, privileged rich girl, just another TikToker. I wish Addison well, honestly. As for sombr, wow. Is it that some of these artist teams actually hate them? Bro, if Beyonce can get Levi's jeans into pop, Kendrick can get 30 for 30 into pop, then Back to Friends should have no issue going to Best Alternative Music Performance. Bro, I think this guy's label or whoever handled these submissions must hate this guy because it does not make any shred of sense. Like, that song is prime soft rock vibes. If it should be anywhere at all, I think the alternative field is where it ought to be. How does he have 3 banger singles and is only able to submit one, which happens to be from late last year? And Back to Friends might be the most popular, but it's not his best performance. The harmonies on Undressed are much better suited for a pop performance category. The bag has been fumbled, bro. I think Best New Artist is his best shot. Maybe he can get Record of the Year too. As for his album, I doubt he's getting any nominations. Good luck to sombr though. Here are just some other observations from the submission spreadsheet I looked at. I'm surprised Doechii went with Rap for Anxiety instead of pop, as in the main rap, not even melodic rap. And somehow, the song qualifies in the songwriting categories. Fair enough, the melodies on the vocals are different, but doesn't using the exact instrumental from somebody that I used to know negate it in some way? Either way, Doechii stands a chance because Kendrick Lamar has TV off in Best Rap Performance and Song. So besides Kendrick, I'm sure maybe Clips and a few others will be major threats for her, but there's definitely a path to a win here now that I look at it closely. By the way, I don't hate this song, so good luck to Doechii. Then there's Chappell Roan, who went with pop solo performance instead of alternative music performance. At a glance, it's clearly between her and Sabrina, although I think things are more on her favor given the acclaim the Subway has and how it can be argued that it is the better performance. I really like both songs. The K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack surprisingly didn't have any solo efforts to submit in pop solo. I wouldn't know exactly as I haven't seen the film yet, so Golden is their sole submission. I think Golden will garner nominations, especially considering how big a hit it's been in the US. The only major US hit that I doubt will be getting any nominations is Alex Warren's The Ordinary. That song, though properly executed, sounds a bit too textbook, but then again, Stay With Me won Record and Song of the Year back in the day. For MJ Lenderman, how is Wristwatch in American and she's living in rock? Either way, I just hope he gets those nominations because I love that album. I wish he had tried his luck with You Don't Know the Shape I'm in pop or American Roots. Waxahachie got a nomination last year in Americana album category, so here's hoping the same luck is on his side. On my ballot, he'd be getting in the general field too, but I doubt many of the voters would agree. Lastly, KATSEYE went with Gabriella instead of Gnarly, which I understand. I like both songs, but I definitely like Gnarly a lot more. And that brings me to the end of this reaction to the 2026 Grammy submissions. Depending on how the week goes, I should have my hypothetical ballot for the big 3 categories out this Friday. Else, I'd have to push that to next week. Besides, as a prospective voter, am I not supposed to give each track an album a dedicated listen to make an informed decision? If only they actually did that though. Do you remember when it came out that a voter refused to vote for Lana Del Rey because of an SNL performance from over a decade ago. That has to be one of the most insane things I've heard concerning the Grammys. But as you can imagine, I have given the bulk of these albums and recordings a listen already, so my opinions are partially informed as of now, I suppose. Thank you for giving this recording a listen. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like if you did. Also, let me know in the comments what your reactions to the submissions were like. I don't know if I can leave a link to the spreadsheet, but the submissions have been floating all over social media anyway. Feel free to let me know if there are other topics you'd like me to discuss. By the way, also be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. As for support beyond the usual buttons, the Gumroad link in the description is currently the main tip box for this channel. So if it so pleases you, as I surely hope it does, you can consider making a pay what you want donation by purchasing any of the products on the Gumroad page. And that will be all. Till next time, see you soon. Bye.